Hi, I am officially 1 week and like a day post laminectomy and microdiscectomy surgery. I also filmed a video on kind of my journey that got me to surgery. I literally just filmed it, so that's why I'm wearing the same outfit. If you want to see like everything I tried that unfortunately didn't work, and kind of the mistakes that I made along the journey too. But yeah, so I'm going to be talking about what I'm like 1 week post-op and kind of what day by day, what my symptoms and how I felt was. So I got surgery on a Tuesday. That'll just help me kind of gauge my days. And immediately waking up from surgery, I remember just asking the nurse, like, can I keep napping? Because I feel like I had not really slept without pain in so long. And I finally was like, I don't know, I was also on a lot of drugs, but I kept napping. And she's like, oh yeah. And then she just like left. And I took another nap, and then she woke me up later to eat, which was nice. But I remember waking up and I was in zero pain. Granted, I was on anesthesia, or I was coming off the anesthesia. I was on probably other meds there. I don't really know. It was all a blur. And then before you leave the hospital, everyone does it differently, but I was required to get a check with a physical therapist and an occupational therapist to teach me how to go to the bathroom, how to walk, how to put on clothes and all those things. And I remember walking with the physical therapist, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm walking for the first time in months without pain. I have a little video of it that I'll show, but it was just, I was like, oh my God, like this is possible. Like it was crazy. And I think I had walked for bits before, but I still felt something. Like in this case, I felt nothing. And even if it's just all the hospital drugs, I got these wonderful 5 minutes without pain. And I felt so grateful. To be honest, that feeling continued. And so I went home. There was like some incision pain. And to be honest, like I don't even remember it. I feel like, granted, I was on a lot of drugs then, but it wasn't that bad. They always told me if your pain gets to a 5, that's when you take the extra narcotics that they give you. And I think I only took 1 the whole time. And so that night, and I only took it because I was afraid it was gonna get really bad at night. So anyway, I got home, it was pretty late. I was there at the hospital for like 13 hours. Just because of like all the time in between waiting for things, which was fine. But eventually I came home. They kind of sent you home with all like an ice machine and all these wound care things. My incision is like this big, and they glued it. And so what was nice about that is they essentially just say put a Band-Aid and wash the Band-Aid, or change the Band-Aid out every time you shower. So I didn't have to like wait a couple weeks before I could shower. I could shower starting the next day, which was so nice, because I personally love showering and being clean. And yeah, I was just really excited to not have to wait 2 weeks like I had in previous surgeries. So that was really nice. So after I got home, honestly, it was really all blur. I was pretty tired from everything. Like I think all the drugs were still wearing off. So I kind of just like sat on the couch, watched some TV, fell asleep. And eventually I went to bed pretty early. I took one of like the harder narcotic pain medications that night, just again because I was really worried that incision pain was going to get bad or nerve pain was going to get bad, and I was just really enjoying not being in any pain. As you can see, I have stairs, and so at the hospital I actually asked them to walk me through if I can walk upstairs, and I was able to. At that time I still really had to use the railing. That isn't something they normally teach you after the surgery, so if you're in the same situation, feel free to ask. Maybe they'll have it and they'll be able to teach you as well. But the trick she told me, which I continue to use and continue to remember, is good leg up, bad leg down. So good up, bad down. And so going up, you always lead with your good leg. So my leg that didn't have any nerve pain, and you kind of use that to take you up, and then bring your bad leg up, and then you like just step like this versus like that. And then going down, you do the opposite, where you actually lead with your bad leg, because you'll put more weight on your good leg to go down. And I actually honestly never really had that many issues. I was just scared and a little wobbly, so my boyfriend just walked behind me to make sure I didn't fall, and did that. They also teach you how to get in and out of chairs and in and out of the bed, since you aren't able to bend, lift, or twist for the first 2 weeks. Or actually for me, it's 6 weeks. Everyone has a different regimen. For the first 2 weeks, it was very strict about that. And so I just got into bed. I took the pain medication and slept like for like 10 hours. I like slept so well for the first time in so long, which is pretty wild, right after surgery. And then I woke up and I had some incision pain because I slept on it. I slept on my back. But it really wasn't that bad. I know everyone's different. Everyone handles pain differently. Everyone manages the surgery differently. But honestly, the pain before surgery was so bad. Like I'm sure if you've gone through this, you get it. Like I was so afraid every morning to get out of bed because of how much pain I knew I'd be in the second my feet hit the ground. And this time I was like, this is nothing. Like this pain of like cutting muscle, cutting bone, I don't know, whatever they did back there, just taking all the junk out. It was nothing. Like, I really don't think my pain really went above like a 3, and like the sciatic nerve pain for me was like a 10 at most points of the day if I wasn't laying down on my back. So just to be able to wake up pretty much nerve pain free was incredible. So the first few days after surgery were actually, like, to be honest, I think like the best days that I had. I had like 0 nerve pain. I was walking. I mean, again, before I was in so much pain, I couldn't bend, lift, or twist anyway, so that was never really an issue for me. I just had to be really cautious of the movements. The incision pain was there, but each day it was getting better and better. It was never to the point that I had to take pain medication for it, or kind of the more harder pain medications for it. I really was just down to one medication that I was taking at night, even before the surgery, called gabapentin, and then they also had me on methylprednisone, and it's kind of something you taper off of, and so I couldn't just stop it for the inflammation. It's a steroid anti-inflammatory. As I started to taper off the I'm probably saying it wrong, methylprednisone, I started to feel really, really nauseous from it too, and then I started to feel a tiny bit of nerve pain, and I've been calling them like the foot tinglies, but the pins and needles on your feet. So starting on Friday, I kind of honestly started to feel that, and it was just messing with my brain a lot. I think it's just like it's such a mental injury in addition to a physical injury, and I say that so much, but I was just so afraid it was going to happen again. But thankfully I had talked to my doctor before, and they said this is very normal. As your nerve heals, as the anti-inflammatories kind of decrease, you know, there's a lot of fluid and swelling in your back after the surgery that's going to continue to push onto that nerve. In addition, your nerves also take time to heal, and mine was so compressed after surgery. My doctor actually called my boyfriend, who's like the contact person at the time, and said like there was hard disc material like stabbing into the nerve, and that's why I was in so much pain. And so my nerve definitely is going to need a lot of time to heal. So even though I knew it was going to happen, it still sucked feeling it. But again, the pain was nothing like it was before. Again, I was at like a 10 on the pain scale before the surgery. Now I was like a 2, like at its worst. And for the most part, I could like shift into a position that it's not that bad. So that was Friday. But then I woke up Saturday and I was just so nauseous, to be honest. Like, I think coming off the pain medication, the methylprednisone, honestly, now that I'm like over the nausea part, was, I think, causing me to be so nauseous. So I started to take Zofran, which is an anti-nausea medication that helped a little bit, but not that much, to be honest. And that's when it started, the more I stood, the more lightheaded I would get, which I wasn't expecting. I've never really been like weak like that before, so it was really confusing. So I messaged my doctor over the weekend. They actually got back to me over the weekend, which was really nice, and said, you know, because I was laying down so much for the last 2 months, now that I'm upright and my body's healing and going through all this trauma, like it's just gonna take time to be able to build back that strength, and it's very expected that something like that would happen. But she said if it continues to get worse and I don't see any improvement in a few days, you know, call her back. But then Sunday, again, it started getting better. I actually was able to go, maybe I shouldn't have done this, but I had a friend that was moving out of the city and I wanted to go to her goodbye party, so I went to a bar for like 10 minutes to say goodbye and give her a hug. and everyone was just like so amazed to see me walking. It like honestly felt so good to be normal again and like not in pain. Like I hadn't socialized with my friends in months, and I'd been so afraid to leave my house. It was kind of the first time I left my house for something that wasn't going to the hospital. It was just amazing. Would I recommend? I don't know. I mean, I don't think it hurt me at all, but it was a little nerve-wracking being out there. Maybe it was a little too soon from the surgery day, but I mean, a really good friend was leaving and I couldn't not say goodbye to her, so I went. So anyway, by Monday, however, also throughout this whole time, I'm nauseous. I'm so nauseous and just pounding candy, because candy was the only thing that made me feel better, like sour candy. And so I was just like there at the bar, like eating my candy, like drinking my ginger ale. I brought it in, I don't know, no one judged me. But it was fine, yeah. The party was fine. I was thankfully distracted talking to so many people, but I got in the car and I was just like, oh my God, I feel like I'm gonna die. The other side of this part too is how constipated you get after surgery. I feel like that's just like part of it. And if you've never had surgery before, maybe something that you should know. And I had not pooped for like 5 days, which is not normal for me. And then finally that day I was able to poop. So that was really exciting. So after Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, yeah, 5 days. So no, it's normal, no, it sucks, and it's eventually gonna happen, but mine took 5 days. I was always kind of curious when people did their videos, and I watched their videos on surgery as well. So TMI, but it's all part of the process. And then finally on Monday, I finished the methylprednisone, and I was really hoping I wouldn't be nauseous anymore. I kept taking the Zofran, and I started to kind of see hope that this nausea was going to be over. But kind of throughout this, my nerve pain was getting a little bit, I hate to say worse, but it was just more prevalent. Like I occasionally would have calf cramps. I got some pain in my glute when I would go to like sit to the bathroom or go to sit back down on the couch to go lay down. Throughout all of this, I forgot to say this, I'm not allowed to sit for more than 20 minutes at a time. So I only sit when I eat, and I really try to just avoid sitting at all, where I'm either standing or laying down. I'm standing right now, obviously. And so just those kind of few moments kind of hurt a little bit, but again, should be expected as my nerve heals. A few days out, again, my nausea is going away, which I'm really grateful for. The lightheadedness and the weakness is something that I didn't see anyone talk about, which made me a little bit nervous. It still makes me a little bit nervous. It's getting better every day, but it's still like, it's a really weird experience for me. Like I've just never gone through anything like this, and I'm really trying not to push it and let my body heal. So even just like standing for 30 minutes is like really tough. And it's hard because like finally I'm not in any pain, and it's not like standing causes any nerve pain. It's just purely the lightheadedness. That's kind of sucky, but to be honest, overall, like I'm really happy that I got the surgery. It's not been easy. I would say I need a lot of help still from my boyfriend, who I live with and who's been just absolutely amazing throughout this whole process. There's been a lot of like tools I've needed to use as well to kind of help me get through it. Maybe I'll do a video on all of the things I bought to help, but overall, I genuinely feel like I'm starting to get to the other side of this injury. I know it's really scary because the first kind of few months are really high risk for re-injury, especially the first week. And so as I go through, I'm trying to be really careful and cautious and not do anything stupid and push it. But overall, week 1 has been pretty good. I mean, I'm off majority of pain meds for the first time in months, which has been amazing. And I really hope to get off. I'm on gabapentin at night, and I really hope to get off that at night. My doctor just said, like, let's wait until our 2-week follow-up, and if I'm still kind of doing okay, we'll start to wean off of it. Apparently it's something you can't just stop. So I want to make sure I do that right to not have like withdrawal symptoms at all, especially because my nausea has been so bad, but getting better. So yeah, so this is week 1. I will kind of continue to vlog each week by week. Hopefully they continue to get better and more positive. My dog is barking. So yeah, that's week 1. feel free to subscribe to continue to follow my journey. I'll be posting videos weekly on my updates and like my road to recovery. If there's anything else you guys would like to know on how to spin or any other things that I've done, I don't really want to give advice since a back injury is so unique to each individual person. But I can at least just share my experience and what I've done and what I've gone through. But again, work with a professional in all this. I am none of those things. I am just someone that's kind of tried a lot of things and gone through it, and hopefully this can at least give some hope to some people that are going through it. So yeah, thanks so much. Talk to you guys next week.